All right, everyone. Hello again. I just did a live video a little bit earlier, so I was going to come back on because I didn't do it when we were doing the Q&A. We talked about so many other things. So in this video, I'm going to go through again. I know the last time I did it, was also talking about classes and a lot of other stuff. So the actual tutorial started around like 20 minutes in, I think it was. So this one, I'm just going to stick to it. And I'm also going to give you guys a little bit more information on like understanding the images and why some of them may come in blurry, or you might feel like they're not as sharp and things like that. So that's what we're going to focus on in this one, and I'm going to hopefully this will help you understand why some images work and some don't, and you may have to do like a deep dive for images. Your first one that comes up may not be the perfect image. Also, test printing or test pressing. Sometimes you may have an image and it might appear, or like when you're looking at it on the screen, you may think that it is distorted or blurry, but once you press it or once you sub it, it actually looks really, really, really good. Well, I'm gonna say really, 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 but it actually looks better than what it looks on paper. You have to remember that sublimation is a process where it turns into a gas and attaches itself to the polymer coated or polyester substrate. So it's not a what you see is what you get. As it transfers, it can actually sometimes fill in some of those like areas that might make it look a little too pixelated, and you'll find that it really does look better on your tumbler or whatever item you're putting it on. Maybe you're going to make like a luggage tag from it or something like that. So just do a test press. You should always have scrap fabric on hand to be able to test and see colors and just test the quality. Okay. So that was my little spiel to kind of, because I am live. So I wanted to kind of do that, give you guys a little bit of time to get on. So now we're going to go ahead and get started. She said, I was waiting anxiously, but I've already done this one. So I do have a video already for this, but I just wanted to have one where it was strictly this and not kind of the other part, or at least have it at the beginning, just in case you guys have questions. So I end up with a lot of questions and people saying, well, mine wasn't coming out. I can't find the right images. It may take a little deep dive depending on what you're searching and things like that. But if you're looking for a specific type of bag, there might not be a really good high resolution image of the exact bag that you want. So, it's not a guarantee type thing. So before we get started, I'm also going to give the disclaimer again. I am showing you how to use Silhouette Studio, how to make a box, make it the size that you want, resize your image, and crop it. I just so happen to be using designer handbags. This is something that you would do no matter what. If it is a background that's like a watercolor, you purchased it from Creative Fabrica. Design Bundles had like a early morning sale and they had some backgrounds and stuff in there. Then they have the one on Wednesday. If you got a background from that, it will pretty much be the same thing. Ooh, and when you see some of the files that they have on their website, someone took a background and they cropped it to a template, a box that represented what you need to wrap around. So that's all I'm showing in this. You do it at your own risk. Do understand that all these handbags, no matter who the company is, that company technically holds the right to it. And then, if you're getting it from a store's website, things like that. See, I put myself at risk because I'm showing it live and like where I'm getting it from, but no one's really going to know like what site you got it from and this and the third. So they may not, with selling them, you are technically at risk. Now, if you have your own bag, you take a picture of it and you want it on a tumbler, you're not really selling it. No one's going to know. No one can really tell anything. But I want to put that disclaimer out there that I'm not telling you that just because you can do this, that means you can freely sell them. We know that these particular companies don't sell these types of tumblers or water bottles where it's a replica of or an image of their handbags or their products. So you do so at your own risk. Again, I am simply showing you how to do it in Silhouette Studio should you choose to go ahead and make your own. This is for educational purposes only. You do what you will. Y'all are grown folks. You can make your own decisions in what you do with this knowledge. Okay? All righty. Let's get into this. So before I even go back over to Google, I pulled in some images. So some of these may have said like 500 by 500, 1200 by 1200, 300 by 400, different things. So when they're setting this up, like in Photoshop, like a photographer came, he took the picture. Someone went and from that picture, they either removed the background and put it like on a solid white, added the shadow. They may have had a standard size box that they put it in the middle and they're going to save it. And once you set that up, there's a certain number of pixels for it. You can have an image and they both can be 500 by 500. The difference in it is going to be that one is going to have a lot of white around it and another one may not have a lot of white around it. So you have to know that all of this white contributes to that quote unquote resolution. So as you blow it up, one may look more distorted than the other because you like that. It may seem like it's high, but it's accounting for all of this negative space, like all this empty space, whereas this one doesn't have it. So it's already close. Like the image itself is it's closer. So as you blow it up, it's not going, it may not change the resolution as fast or as much as something like this. Then you have ones like this. It's not even a square. So what makes up that high resolution is the fact that there's this big rectangle and then the bag is small in the middle. So depending on how big you want this to be, it can affect the final resolution of just the bag when you crop it down. Because you're probably thinking, well, dang, this thing said it was like 16,000, 1600, DPI. Why is it, looking somewhat blurry? It's because that is not just the image, it's the entire box. So the bag in the middle is really small. If I were to make this, like, let's say the same height, this bag is bigger than this one. So as I stretch it, it's not going to distort. This particular one is not going to distort as quickly as this one is. Understand? Does that help you guys understand like the differences in the images? Same thing with this one. Like it's a closer and a tighter shot, and they can save this as a high resolution because it's smaller. If they were to bring their lens out and take a landscape or have more of the negative space in the background there, it's still a high resolution image. It's just you have all of the other background that's to account for that DPI number, that resolution number, whereas this is tighter. Understood? All right. So now that we kind of know that, I'm going to go over to the website. You can search for specific bags. You can just search designer handbags. That's up to you if you're looking for a specific one. Again, do know that not every bag is going to have a high resolution image. And with going through this, Louis Vuitton, a lot of their images were like for the front view, their handbags are to the side. So you're never going to get this like straight on. Every company takes their promotional pictures different. You may not be able to find an image that is a high resolution image directly from the front. Okay. But you can search pretty much anywhere. I see this one. So this is telling you that it's going to be small. Yes, it doesn't have a lot of negative space, but it's telling you it's small. 178 by 218. That is small. So now we have a 520 by 650. It looks somewhat okay, but it still has like some pixelation. I can see the pixelation in it. For 80s, it's like those are not low numbers, but the image itself. So this is 675, 900. It almost looks the same as the other one. The only difference is this has more negative space here. So I'm going to go back, take note of that one. And then if I go back, same bag, lower resolution because it was cropped down. So the image in the middle is basically the same. The only reason why this number is different is because of the way that it was cropped by whatever photographer. Okay. So let's say we go here. I can, it's a box. It's 400 by 400. I could copy. So right click and copy. You don't want to do it from here. You want to open it up if you're going to do it from the thumbnail here. And then you're going to come over here and you're going to paste. Okay. So that's that size. And then I want to come back over here and let's say we go to the actual website. And we're going to go here and I'm going to come here and go here. And then I'm going to right click, copy image, and then I'm going to come over here and paste. It's two different sizes. It's the one that was on their website, but the thumbnail. Once you learn about, how can I say it? Like you learn about building your website, there are ways like you can create alternate images and stuff like that, and they'll come in different sizes. So sometimes it's better to go to the website. Sometimes you can get it right from the Google search thumbnail. Same exact one. This particular one happens to have more of the white negative space. This is more of a box. So if we stretch both of these, I'm going to select them. I didn't do anything else, just brought them in. I bring it in and I stretch it up like this. This is already starting to look a little distorted. The color is a little bit different. If I make it the same size as this one, I'll bring it out a little bit smaller. Okay, that's kind of the same size. See the difference? So your resolution and where you get it from, that's the part that matters the most. You may have to do some deep diving, y'all. You may not find it off the, the first one may not work. You may have gotten the one and saw one that was like this resolution versus this one. A little something extra. The color of it is a little bit different. And so yeah, you can adjust the color some. This is taught in detail in my 30-day training, but I'm going to show you real quick. We're going to go over here to image effects, and I can either adjust the gamma to make it a bit darker. Okay. Or I can even adjust the saturation, bring out those greens a little bit more. So look at the difference in those three bags. This is the original. This is upping the saturation. This is upping the gamma to where it's still darker, but I mean, it's not brighter, but it made it where it's not so light. So you can adjust your images in Silhouette Studio. Okay. All right. So now we're going to make our template. Now it's best if you do measure your tumblers yourself so that you know like the exact measurement going around. And if you want a little bit of an overlap, you're going to add add 0.15 to that or 0.125. That's up to you if you want to measure yours. And like if you want it to line up a specific spot, you'll set that up. For me, for general purposes, I use a width of 9.35 and a height of 8.25. I used to use 0.125, but I got some tumblers that were a bit higher. So now I just pretty much default to 0.25. So that's the first step. Go to your rectangle, just make a random box, come up to the top, make sure it's unlocked, make your width 9.35, hit tab on your keyboard, 8.25, hit enter on your keyboard, and that's going to be your tumbler template for a standard 20-ounce tumbler. For a 30-ounce, you're going to measure it. If you have a tapered 20-ounce tumbler, purchase my template for it. And you have to have Designer Edition Plus or Business Edition, and it's going to give you the measurements as far as warping it. If you are a Photoshop user, I probably will do a video. You have to have the template like as the picture, and then you have to adjust your warp to fit that particular image so that it'll wrap all the way around. But this is your standard for 20-ounce tumbler. If you're doing a mug, I have a mug template, or you can measure whatever you're going to put it on. You can measure, or you can create your own template, or you can get our template vault. And there are a lot of awesome templates in there as well. Okay. She says, awesome information about resolution. You are welcome. All right. So now we're going to come over here and I'm just going to duplicate this. I'm going to bring it down to this one. You want to take your bag, and because it's not going to be the right size, you're going to pull it from the corner nodes, never from the center. Don't try and put it here and get it to fit by stretching. You see what you're going to do to the bag? You're going to stretch it. It is best to pull it from either of the corner nodes. And you're just going to make it large enough to where the main part of the bag sits inside that square or that box. It's not a square, it's like a rectangle. If I want to pull it up so that I get like more of the stitching, I'm going to pull it to about there. If you want it, you decide where you want it centered at, how much of the image you want. I can probably make this a little bit smaller to get more of that pattern in there. If you don't want, like, let's say if maybe you want the buckle of one of them, bring it over to the side as much as you can, or bring it over to this side. But see here, you're going to end up with white. So you just want to make sure that that bag, or like the main part of the color, falls within. I'm going to make this box white so you can see it. You want to make sure that the image just falls within this box. Then you're going to click off in the open space, click and drag. It's going to select both. You're going to go over to modify and you're going to crop. And that's ready. It's just a regular plain one, but if you're just wanting the pattern, you're wanting that design. Now, if you want to add other stuff to it, you want to add a name, you want to add an image. I know my girl Katrina was adding, like the Betty Boop to it. If you want to add some of the ones from my girl Miss Bozeman from Coco Twins, she has some beautiful ones. If you want to add that, if you want to do the ones from what the girl name is, Divine Digital Divas. No, not oh God. Feathers of Style. If you want, is it Designs by Amira on Etsy? If you're going to add anything to it, you want to add a name. This is just now the foundational piece, and now you can add other stuff. You want to add, I'm going to go like this, and then I'm just going to fill it in with like this pink color. So maybe you want it to do it that way. That's totally up to you, because you want a banding at the bottom or just like solid color at the bottom. Totally up to you and what you do with it. Maybe you'll select one of the other colors that's in there just to bring in and make it more of the lighter one. All up to you and what you do once you have it cropped down to the template. Then group it together and you're ready to print it and sub it. So we're going to do it again. I'm just going to take this one. We're going to pull it over here. You don't have to trace and detach or do any of that stuff because you're going to crop it down. Yeah, I think I want to come over here and get this buckle. And this will be, well, no, then it's going to come over there. So let's see. Let's make this a little bit smaller. So that way, if I want to get this little buckle right here, this will go on the tumbler and then it'll overlap here. I mean, it's still kind of sort of close. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Hoping that, it won't, like when you overlap it, it's not going to be too close, but that's up to you and how you set that up. Or you can just do it from here. Select it, crop. That's it. I don't want the buckles. I want just like that pattern right there. I'm just going to put it there, select it, crop. That's all I have on there. With this one, yeah, I mean, I could I can end up stretching this thing so much because there's all this extra. We're going to take a box and just put it right here. Oh, wait, let's go back and let's default to no color. And then we're just going to crop this down to crop away a lot of that extra stuff. So that way, when we stretch it out, we're not, having to make it so big because it's accounting for all of that negative space. Make that bigger, send it to the back. Again, I am not, if you kept just coming on, you missed a disclaimer. Now, if you're watching the playback, you got a disclaimer in the beginning. If you're just coming on, I already gave the disclaimer that just because I'm showing you how to use Silhouette Studio, it does not mean that I'm saying that you are authorized to use these images for sale or anything like that. You do so at your own risk. Make them for yourself if you want. If someone requested from you and they want one, you do so at your own risk. Just because you are able to find these images on the internet doesn't necessarily mean that you are authorized to use their likeness for profit. That's up to you. So I'm going to select and I'm going to crop. And with this one, I'm going to undo real quick. I'm going to make a duplicate because, like, let's say if I want the stitching on the side, I'm going to make a duplicate of that. We're going to select this one and crop. And then on this one, we're going to do a trace and detach. So we're going to come here. We're going to increase our threshold. We're going to do a trace and detach. And I'm going to do some editing to this to get rid of this part, which all you do is hold down Shift, select all those edit points and hit delete point. And then you play around with your edit points to bring it in closer to the edge. If you are struggling with edit points, take my 30-day training. I go over edit points for 2 straight days. So now I'm going to use my edit points and delete all of this other stuff. All right. And then I'm going to take this and place it on one side. This will be the side that I put down on the tumbler, and then this will overlap, and it's going to end up looking like it's right next to this strap. So we're just going to put this here. I can cut it off because I don't need the whole thing. And then I'm going to group this together. So I can take this one and put it on there as well if I wanted to, because this doesn't really have a top. I could even take, I'm going to ungroup. So let's say I didn't want it on the side. I can rotate that and have that be across the top, and of course adjust it to where it's like straight, even though that's not how the bag looks. But if you wanted to, you can create that finished look by doing that. So it's up to you and what you do with it and how you arrange it or whatever. And then we're just going to group this together. But it's all the same. Like all of these bags, I'll do the exact same thing too. Here, I'm going to hold down Shift and Alt, make it bigger, place it here. I can probably make it a little bit smaller. Maybe move it over so I have this buckle in the crop. So maybe like about there, or maybe make it just a little bit bigger, about there. Select it, crop. I forgot to make a duplicate, so all right. We're going to take this one, make it bigger, send it to the back. If you can't see the line, I'm going to make that line white. And we're going to position it. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. Get more of the design in there. center it a little, and select it and crop. That's all you're doing every single time. And it's going to look, it's the actual image of the bag. So it's going to look like an actual bag versus just a digital rendering. For some of them, the digital rendering, it looks absolutely amazing. It's all up to you and like what you want to use. Some people prefer the digital rendering because it is a higher resolution. Some people feel like it's a cleaner look. I actually happen to like, I'm not doing a lot of them, but I actually happen to like the fact that it looks like the actual bag versus a digital rendering. So we're going to go there. And here, the bag, the picture is kind of slanted. So I'm going to take here, we're going to rotate it just a little to like straighten that out some. Place it where I want it. The strap, like this little piece right here, I kind of don't want to see. So I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger so that's not in the frame. Select it, modify, crop. That's it. That's all you have to do to create the wrap that looks like the actual handbag. That's it. All right. Hopefully this helps and it's a little bit more concise because, I wasn't doing all the other talking before. This one, I just went straight into it. I also explained the resolution and why that might be, an issue for you guys with the images that you're finding. So hopefully this one provided a little bit more insight and a little bit more detail for you guys so that you can create, these files if you want, these wraps if you want to, okay? All right. Because that's what they have it on their website as. You have to remember it is their file. It did open though. So I showed it in the beginning. So if you watch this over from the beginning, this MCM one was it this one? No, it was the MCM one? Or I don't know. It was one of them where it was a web file. And let me see. It's here. Which one was it? Yeah, it was this one. Was it this one? Yeah, one of these. Yeah. So no, the Louis Vuitton one. It was a web file. And you still drag and drop it into Silhouette Studio and it's going to be right there. Okay. So that's no issue. All righty. All right, guys. So I wanted this one to be a quicker video. It's still 30 minutes. People are going to still probably bypass this video thinking it can't take that long, not knowing that I teach. All right. So I want to go ahead and hop off here before it goes over 30 minutes. There are no questions. If you guys do have any questions, be sure to just go ahead and post them as a comment. Guys, give this video a thumbs up. Recommend this video to the, I'm pretty sure this is going to be in all the, still in all the groups. Take the link, copy it, paste it to, an answer, this one or the first one where I really, really kind of break it all down. And don't forget to visit our website, shop.hsinc365.com. So once you go and create all of your wraps, you're going to need sublimation paper, sublimation ink, and all that kind of good jazz to be able to print it and press it. So visit our website. We have sublimation ink, sublimation paper for as of Thursday, every single purchase comes with a free download. This week's free download, digital download, is the birthday file. Every week on Thursday, a new file will be released. So any purchase, if you want to purchase another file, you get this one free. You need to purchase ink, need to purchase a chip resetter, syringes, any purchase, you will get this file. Okay. Alrighty, y'all. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.